Okay, this is a fun one. So you are going to be building a multi-screen app, and this is where you get to show your creativity. So I'm going to walk you through the actual assignment itself. You'll have access to this slideshow as well so that you can go through it on your own, but I wanted to just highlight some of the really important pieces here and then show you an example of a multi-screen app and then explain what it is that I'm looking from you. So you're basically creating a multi-screen app. You get to choose whatever you want to do. The big piece here and the big takeaway here is that you are practicing designing user interfaces, okay? And then writing event-driven programs. If I touch here, something will happen to my app. So that's what you're trying to do. So you can choose all different types of, this is your own creativity. Here are some ideas that you can use if you don't have something different to do. But the goal here is that you're either making a personal app about you or your hobbies, interests, top 3 app, top 3 foods, top 3 pairs of shoes I like, whatever it is. Informational app about an organization or a club. So for those of you in Flower Club, you can make a Flower Club app. Flashcards for studying quizzes. Short choose your own adventure game or an app with a different game on each screen. It is completely 100% up to you. So here are the requirements. So these are what your app must have. So your app must have some kind of purpose. What is the goal of your app that you're creating? So it could be a simple one like celebrating all my favorite foods to eat, but there must be an underlying purpose that thematically ties the whole thing together. The title of your app should be pretty clear when you look at it. Your app will have at least 4 screens, okay? I'm going to tell you that, you can make your app larger if you want, but go with the minimum because we're kind of on a time crunch here. So 4 screens, okay? You must have text, images, and buttons. And if you're feeling adventurous, go for sound. Sound is a lot of fun in an app. All right. So the goal here, requirements continue. No getting stuck on a screen. You should always be able to navigate from one screen to another. There should never be a dead end. The user should also be able to get back to the start. So somewhere throughout the app, there should be a start button that takes you right back to the start as a cycle so that you could start it all over again. So this is part of the planning piece that you're going to need to plan accordingly. Your program code should follow good style. It should be given good user interface elements, descriptive, meaningful IDs. Make sure you're putting comments in your code, and things should be intuitive to use. Choose a theme and purpose for your app. Complete the planning guide. I'll show you that link in a second to decide. The planning guide is key here because it's actually part of the rubric for the create task is understanding how did you start planning your program. So it's really important and it is super helpful. And I'll show you what that looks like. Then before you start planning, informally share your sketch with a classmate or someone in your home. You can totally email me if you want. Just remember that if all 36 of you email me, that's a lot of feedback for me to give back. But it's really just a quick, hey, this is what I'm thinking about with my app. What do you think? Remember, you can use anyone in your family to give you feedback because we all actually use apps, right? So you don't have to be a computer science major or familiar with computer science to know what a good app is. So you want the person to look at the way users navigate through the pages. Is it intuitive? Is the design and layout clear? Does the information present well? Is there anything that they would add to it to make it or take out to make the app better? So you're just looking for some feedback. Oops, there we go. And then the process, you're going to program your app. Go through, choose the planning guide. Yes, anything you take out. And then you're going to program your app following the plan you develop in the planning guide. As well, you're going to have at least one peer review of your classmates' apps using the peer review rubric. So again, emailing, and listen, if you don't have an email of one of your classmates, please let me know and I will get you one. But the other thing is you can also have someone in your home peer review. It's just having someone else look at your app and make sure that you're getting everything that needs to be on it. So let's walk through what you're looking at. So here's the planning guide, which is basically I just took all of these first screens and I just put them into a presentation to make it a little bit easier for you to read. And then we're going to talk about, so this is your planning guide. This is how you're going to design your screens. I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like. And with this particular planning, you do not have to input your pictures here. You can draw this on a separate piece of paper and just take a photo of it and upload that image into Canvas. I'm okay with that. This is just giving you an idea, and I'm going to show you what that looks like as an example. So this is an example of an app that I'm going to show you right now of the top 3 favorite songs. And it's basically showing you how everything goes from one screen to the next. You don't need to draw the image. You just need to have an idea of what it's going to look like, right? And so you can see that you start at the first page and then you say, let's go. It takes you over here, and then it goes to an image, and then you can either listen to the clip, you can either go back to the home page, you can go to the next page, it gives you something here, you can listen to it, you can go back to the last page, or you can go forward, you can listen to it, and then you can either go back or you can go all the way home. So the idea is just showing the flow and the structure of what your app is going to look like. So that's what it is that you're trying to do. Your peer review is here, and you'll have edit rights to this. And again, you can either email this peer review to a friend to do, or you can get someone in your house to take a look at it, because they're going to be able to, once they look at your app, they're going to be able to tell you whether or not it fulfills all of these. The one that they might have trouble with is the element IDs with the code. But you know what? If you just open up your code and show your little brother or your little sister, and especially if they can read, they're going to be able to understand what that looks like. And then the more you actually discuss it with them, the better you are at understanding your code. So this is just your peer review to make sure that you have everything that you need for your app. Show you what an app would look like. So I want to give you a little example of what an app that would pass this particular lesson would work, and something that you can work towards doing. So here's an example that actually would get a perfect score in terms of getting everything, linking all the screens together. So here we go, top 3 favorite songs. So let's go. So I can listen, so I'm adding music here. So I got a little music clip, and I can go next. So I can go to the next one. This is My Canadian Boy. You used to call me on my cell phone. And then finally, I could go to my favorite song. Never gonna let you down. And notice I can go back, so I'm never stuck. I can go to the next one, so I'm never stuck. And then at the very end, I can go home. So I've basically fulfilled everything that I need in terms of being able to go through all my screens. I have 4 screens. I'm not stuck. This is kind of what we're looking at here. This is like sort of the highest you could get in terms of making an app. And then you're going to go into the last bubble in code.org, and you're going to look at the rubric and do some work from there based on the designing of the app and understanding what you went through with the design process. So hopefully that is helpful.